All right, welcome. Yeah, welcome to B&B Bourbon and Burgers and Bourbon, however you want to say it. This is part duh. We did do.
We had
this.
a technical difficulty.
Yeah, technically. So we're half loaded. No, we're not, because we just ate a burger about 20 minutes ago. So that's sitting down there absorbing everything. No, we actually shot this a few minutes ago, and then literally at the very end, it was like click, and we're like, oh my gosh, we got to start all over.
And it was the main camera too.
Yeah,
There's about 2 minutes left.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so you guys know what we do here. We review burgers and bourbon. Today is a bourbon. This is Black Ridge. They're going to tell the story. Chris actually picked this out.
Yeah.
PJ's one of our new guys on the bourbon,
On the show.
burgers and
Yeah.
Bourbon.
Mm-hmm.
He's a bourbon aficionado, so he's going to give you some background on this. I'm just here to tell you how I like it. That's about it. So why don't you tell the story? Don't go too long, but no, just
No
kidding.
rabbit trails. No 30-minute stories
Yeah.
for one punchline.
Here, throw this up there real quick.
Yeah, let's throw that up and
people
let
look
everybody
at
have
it.
a look.
All right, see that?
So let me zoom in a little bit there.
Yeah,
There we go.
there it is.
So this is Black Ridge Special Reserve Port Barrel Finished.
Yeah.
The story behind this is when my mom passed, my dad and one of his buddies and I went on a fishing trip, and we decided the little bourbon might be a good idea, and I wanted to get something different. So I walked into Total Wine and Spirits up in St. Matthews, and they just happened to have this on display. So why not? I'll give it a shot. I know I like the port barrel finished stuff, which we'll talk about.
Yep.
Picked it up, took it down, and it was a real hit. I mean, we all really, really liked it. So that's the reason I decided we wanted to do that one today.
Yeah, no, it's going. If you saw me looking and smiling like really, really goofy, our partner Heather just walked by and she was like tiptoeing. I thought that was hilarious. I was getting her to call her over here, but
She's going to start stomping.
yeah, if she comes out here, we'll get her to come over here and say hey. But
She's
all right.
hiding now.
Yeah, she is. All right, so before PJ goes into like a lot of detail on this bourbon, what's obviously it looks a little different because we've had so much of it, but but it's darker, right? And so why don't you explain maybe why it's darker?
Well, that's the port barrel finishing.
Right.
So, first of all, you can get this without the port barrel finish. I have personally not tried it, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But all they do is once the bourbon is finished aging in the regular oak barrels,
Right.
then they take it out and they put it into a port barrel, which is a used cask from port wine, and also sherry casks are a pretty popular one too. Usually a little bit more expensive for those, but it picks up, and they'll age it for a few months like that. And it picks up some of the flavor of the wine, and it creates some sweetness and some berry flavors, things like that. Becoming more and more popular. The most famous would be Angel's Envy. All of their stuff is done that way. But you're seeing more and more companies trying to be different, and they're picking up on doing some kind of aging like this.
Yeah, they're all trying.
And
to
I
be
really like them.
Yeah, all trying to be a little bit different. All right, PJ, give us a story on Black Ridge. I've never had it before. I know you guys have, but I have not. So.
Yeah, doing some cursory research, there wasn't a lot to go off of.
Right.
If you look on the back of the bottle, it says Clear Springs Distilling Company.
Right.
Tried to Google that, did not find anything.
Good luck on that one.
But what I found was they're owned by Barton Distilling. So if you know 1792, that's kind of their most famous bourbon. And that company is owned by Sazerac. So, Buffalo Trace products.
Yeah. Cool. All right, so how we do this, I normally would be taking the top off and then pouring, but since we've already shot it, we've already poured it. And then the other kind of funny thing is we talk about how we like to drink bourbon. As you guys know, if you've been watching this, I'm a neat guy, so I am.
You are a neat guy.
I know I'm a cool
Pretty
guy,
neat,
but I'm a neat in that I usually just drink bourbon, just pour it out and drink it. This is one that when you pour it out and you smell it, which is the first thing everybody does, right? You pour it out, take a big whiff of it, see kind of what you're smelling. This is actually has a very good smell. If you were watching the one that we did 2 weeks ago, it had a very harsh smell. But this one actually is pretty good. It was a very, very good smell, which is a good thing. It sort of leads to what you would think would be a good taste. Not always, but you would think so. And so we all tried it neat, right? So we can all try it again, but that's just because it's Friday afternoon and we're consuming.
Round number 2.
Yeah, so this one, this is one that, and as I'll always say that I prefer to drink them neat. if I have a bourbon that I'm trying that I don't particularly like, neat. If I put a cube in there, really just one cube, it actually totally changes the flavor of it.
Yeah.
Or can not totally change. It can slightly change the flavor, but make it more palatable to me. Mm-hmm. And then there's some that you can put all the ice in the world, and you can put Coke or whatever you want
There's
in
no
there.
saving it.
Yeah, and I can't do it.
If you have to put Coke in it, it was not good in the first place.
Yeah, I agree.
Not by any stretch.
I agree. Well,
Yeah.
and as I said in the very first show, I love it. Just cracks me up. You know, you walk up and say, "Hey, you a bourbon drinker?" Oh, I love my bourbon. All right, great. And you walk up and they go, "Give me whatever, and Coke or
Jack
whatever."
Coke,
yeah,
yeah.
Jack Coke. And I'm like, okay, clearly you
Okay.
don't like
Yeah,
bourbon.
you're not a bourbon person.
Yeah, not at all. But anyway, all right. So, any thoughts on this? I mean, it's pretty good stuff, but
Yeah, I mean, I love port finished bourbons.
Yeah.
It's rich, and you get those dark stone fruit type flavors. So
Yeah.
plum and cherry and all that stuff. So
Oh, you're geeking out now.
I mean,
Talking about plum and cherry.
I can go
Well-
further if you want.
Brian and I are sitting here going, it tastes good.
yeah, it tastes good. Yeah, I mean, yeah. No, it's really good. This is really good stuff. I mean, what did you say? What this was?
It's $40.
All right, $40.
So not an outrageously high price.
No.
Yeah.
The regular that's not port finished, I think, is like 32 or 33.
Okay.
So they're in that window.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would say it's not getting into, is that really getting into the more premium? It's not super premium for sure. but-
No.
This is just going to be your regular.
I
level.
would say probably the bulk of everything that you find out there now is in the 30 to 50 range. So
Yeah.
it's right
Oh,
in that
yeah.
right
Yeah.
in that
Yeah,
window.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. All right. So as we do always, we're gonna obviously we've already tasted it. We're gonna rank it 1 to 10. As I always do, I know what my favorite is, which is kind of my go-to. We'll review that here in several weeks. So I sort of scale everything to that, and so that's what I'm going to do. So I'll go first. I like it. It's something I can drink neat. Now last week I didn't necessarily. I could drink it, but I preferred it with a cube.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's been the case everyone except for the very first one we did, and I actually liked it neat too. So with that being said, I'm going to go 8 on this. I like it.
All right.
I like it.
Okay, I'm biased. Obviously, we knew I liked it.
Yeah.
When I went out and picked it
Yeah,
out.
sure.
If I use that concept of my perfect bourbon, the best one I've ever had, that's a 10. Then I would put this one in an 8, somewhere in that area. It's really good. I do normally like it with a cube of ice. I like this better without. This is better neat.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'll give it a 7 just because my frame of reference is I know some of the port finished bourbons that you can get for this price point, Isaac Bowman being one, and that's a little cheaper, and I actually prefer it just slightly, but it's still good.
It is awfully good.
So I'll give it a 7.
Yeah, cool. Now, and I said this the first time we shot this, and so now I'm having to say it again. But to me, there's different kind of bourbons, and I said this in the very first show. I'll repeat myself over and over. I'm a bourbon guy when it's cold out. When in the middle of the summer, when it's 80 degrees out, and I'm hanging out by the pool or playing golf, I don't drink bourbon. I'd rather have a cold beer or something like that. I don't drink bourbon during the summer. So when it gets cold out or cooler, like in the fall all the way, through it's March, April time frame, I'm kind of that bourbon guy throughout the winter or whatever.
Right.
This to me is not a bourbon that as soon as I get home, I'm going to do. I've got other bourbon for that. I like other bourbons for other reasons. This is a bourbon that if I've had a really good meal and I'm sitting around having a cocktail, I'm going to do that. Because to me, it's almost a dessert type bourbon.
Yeah. Not because it's sweet.
Right.
It's
It's just rich.
Yeah, it's rich. Yeah.
Exactly.
I would agree with that.
Exactly. So it just gives a little bit different flavoring. So to me, had a good meal, sitting around friends, kind of chatting. This would be one I would definitely try for sure.
Definitely.
I would agree with everything you said, except that I would drink it year round.
Yeah, a lot of people
But
do.
I like bourbon year round. I know
Yeah,
PJ does too.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm interesting enough. I'm kind of a bourbon during the winter, and I'm a craft beer during the summer. I don't really drink
like those
much
too.
other than craft beer.
Yep.
Some of the fizzy water I like. Those are pretty good, but I prefer craft beer. But anyway, that's a whole different.
Chris
That's a whole
is
different
not a fan of
podcast.
Not a fan.
No, but
Not a fan.
yeah. So I'm not picky on my. Well, there's Asa. He actually
He's
was
back
on the
again.
very first show. Come here, Ace. You got to get back in this.
Yep.
Because we screwed
deleted
up
you
the first one.
time.
You would?
We deleted you.
We screwed up the first one, so we had to get you back in here for the second
So
one.
you just we said Ace is going to be so upset.
Yeah.
He finds out he got edited out on
Yeah.
accident. Well, now you're back.
And truth be told, he came up here first time not to really say hi to us. He came up to get the candy basket.
Yep.
And I'm guessing that's why you're here again, because you were headed right over there.
Did you all just reshoot so you could have another round?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's exactly right.
You're not wrong.
That's exactly right. All right. Well, anyway, that's it for this week. Again, Black Ridge, you want to pop that back up
Yeah.
there. See you, Asa. All right,
Let
you want
everybody
to
have a
put
look.
that back up there?
Yep.
All right, very cool. Cool looking bottle. Cool looking little label. I think it's just kind of cool
Yep.
looking.
It is.
But anyway, that's it for this week. Make sure you tune in next week. We're going to do another burger next week. Don't know where it's coming from. We hadn't decided yet. But if you want to find out what burger we had last week, it came from the goat. Make sure you tune in and go check that out. It's pretty good. It's a good bar burger, right?
It was a bar
It was
burger.
a burger. But anyway, that's it for this week. You guys have a wonderful week. And here's to another week. We'll see you guys next week.
Cheers.